Hey there kids, it's me, MrCreepyPasta, and before we move on to tonight's story, I just wanted to let you know about two quick events, two things. I'm really freaking busy this July, so I don't want to miss any of you guys. On July 19th through the 21st, I'm going to be in Huntsville, Alabama. I'm going to be there for HamaCon, and it's actually like a really nice, like, chill convention. Like, everybody there is super friendly. It's got a really great atmosphere, so I really hope I can see you guys there. And there's a brand new convention that's opening up in Mesquite, Texas. July 27th and the 28th, the Texas Haunters Convention is going to be in Mesquite, Texas, at the Hampton Inn and Suites. I'll include both these links in the description down below so you guys can kind of get the hang of it. But if you guys would like to come to either one of these places, they're going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be huge, scary, spooky, fun times all around. Also, you know, it'd be cool if I get a chance to meet some of you guys. That's it. On to tonight's story.
A few things are becoming clearer now thanks to the time we've spent here. Like realizing the fact that we may be stuck in here for good. The only thing keeping me going is this record. The faint hope that our voices will be heard. Yes, I've heard what all of you are saying about confession. And after what we went through yesterday and this morning, I've decided to lay everything out on the line. When was the first time you realized something was wrong in your life and you knew you couldn't stop the inevitable? When you felt like you were powerless? It can have two outcomes on a person. Some people approach a situation like this and refuse to give up. Despite all the evidence that you cannot win, these people keep pushing and keep striving to make change. Others will give up, fall into a depression, and fail to learn anything from what happened. It's not that they have the inability to do so, but their will to actually accept that change also dies when they choose to give up. As I sit here locked in a room with 3 desperate people, I wonder which type of person I will end up being. 6 hours ago, we had found ourselves at the end of our rope, ready to give up everything and everyone. Now, I wasn't sure where we were even at. What is this place anyway? Cole asked. Nobody had the answer to that one, but I was starting to get a gnawing feeling in my gut that this was not an ordinary escape room. Adam was shuffling through the journal, looking more closely at each page. I know one thing for sure. I've tried to deny it, but it's dumb to try anymore. This is my journal. I checked the book myself. There was nothing to make it look like it was special. And I could hardly remember the way he jotted down the notes in school. Yet, still given all that we had been through over the past few days, I believed his words. That's how you knew the code? I asked him. He was too worn out to admit it. What in the fuck is going on? Meg shouted. Whoever is running this place definitely seems to have dirt on us, that's for sure, I agreed. They should have called this place the Mind Fuck Palace, Cole said as he finished the last bottle of water, possibly considering defacing the other ones he hadn't gotten around to the first go-round. All of us were starting to come to terms with the fact that we had stumbled upon something ominous, and it looks like it will stay that way for a while. What do we do now? Adam moaned gently. Silence filled the room, but Cole was the first one to act. All right, so they want us to play? Let's play. Cole got up and took a picture off the wall before using his brute strength and tearing it up. What are you doing? I asked. He walked toward the next painting. They want us to get freaked out, right? Play along and fulfill some sick fantasy. So all that matters is a stupid game. So we hurt them where it matters, Cole said. He reached for the painting and pulled it off the wall and then stopped. There, on the wall, was a spray-painted message. Rusty, Cole said as he read the message aloud. What? Meg asked. He fell to the floor in a sobbing mess as Adam came to his side. Hey man, get a grip, he said. Just give me some air, Cole shouted. I could tell immediately that he was now ready to speak, to give up the truth of what secret he held inside. We all waited as he cleared his throat and found the words he needed to speak. When I was a little boy, my dad, he drank a lot. More than I probably ever paid attention to, he began. He used to beat me a lot. He told me that I was such a fucking disappointment, he cried. When he got really drunk, he would ramble. He would say that he wished I was dead and that he had a dog instead. I think he always knew that I wasn't going to turn out to be the son he wanted. He stammered. Adam placed a hand on his shoulder as he weakly gestured toward the scrawled graffiti on the wall. He always said he would have called the dog Rusty, he explained. Meg was standing there looking like an idiot when I picked up the glass figurine again and realized it was my turn to start putting the pieces together. Have any of you heard of someone named Abigail Paxton? I asked. Adam looked at Meg. Neither of them showed any kind of reaction. Cole was too busy being shocked from his own personal revelation. No, why? Meg asked. I bit my lip. I had played my last card. It's nothing, I tried to say. Adam shook his head. The time for secrets is over, Kelly. We need to know everything that you know, he said. I knew he was right. Of course he was. I'm going to die in here anyway, right? So what difference did it really make? You know, I moved here from out of town. 2 years ago, I lived upstate near the valley. Well, anyway, back before I moved, I used to know her. She was different from the other girls that went to our school. Abby kind of kept to herself. Didn't bother anyone, but acted like she was better than everyone else. I was stupid and young. And my friend Beth told me that Abby was spreading rumors about me at middle school, saying that I had a penis, stuff like that. I was so mad. I didn't even think about it. I knew what she cared about the most. She used to carry the stupid little glass doll and called it her little good luck charm. I took it from her and smashed it in front of everyone. I'm a fucking bully. I could tell from Meg's face that she was already starting to see the connection. What in the fuck? She asked as she stared at that same glass doll that now sat in front of all of us. I don't know how it has anything to do with this place, and I didn't realize at first, or I would have said so sooner, I stammered. That's a lie. You knew it on our first day here when you saw that thing, Meg snapped. Then she glared accusingly at Adam. And you? You solved that crazy code. Care to explain how the fuck your journal got here? She asked. It wasn't luck for me to solve it, that's for sure, he admitted as he sat down. You said it was your old journal? What did you mean by that? I asked. I didn't really recognize my old handwriting because I haven't kept a journal like that for about a year. Not since you came here. I wrote it because I had feelings for you, Kelly. I was jealous of the attention others gave you, and the journal was my outlet. He stopped as he began to look down at the floor guiltily. I wrote things, I wanted to do them in there. Terrible things. But I kept them in code so that no one would ever know, he said. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It made me feel like I was staring at a person I didn't even know anymore. None of us really seemed to know each other like we thought we did. I'm going to stop now and say something that nobody wants to admit in situations like this. I've never believed in coincidences. It's mostly to keep my own sanity. If you believe the universe has a reason for everything, it makes the bad stuff easier to deal with. My mom said it's a coping mechanism. She told me that sometimes things just happen. Until this morning, I would have believed her. I would have thought this was just an odd set of circumstances that had led my friends and I into a dangerous situation that we were fighting to figure out. Now though, as Cole and Adam had come to terms with the fact that this room had somehow found their darkest secret and made them manifest, I was beginning to wonder what was really going on. Maybe this was the key to our escape? What about you, Megan? Anything in this room ringing a bell? I asked. She just curled up in a corner and shook her head gently, trying not to scream in frustration. None of us said a word as we sat there trying to rationalize what was happening. But Adam was the one who finally asked the question that was on all our minds. If we have all confessed, why is the game not over? He whispered. Megan shifted uncomfortably. Cole then started to laugh. What's so funny? I asked. Don't any of you see what's happening? You're playing it right into their trap, he said. Meg sighed and looked at him. Can you please explain? She asked. He was looking at us like we were all stupid. Do I really have to spell it out for you? This is still a part of the game. Think about it. The rules said not to trust each other, right? And now we all see that this place has conjured up our worst and darkest parts of our personality. We all know we haven't told anyone those secrets. So how the hell could it have gotten here? Logical explanation would be exactly what Meg just suggested. Well, not so many words, but I know what she was really saying. One of you came here and planted this stuff. Like we're all lying to each other. It's a bunch of bullshit. So why are we even entertaining the idea? Cole asked. The others crossed their arms. I felt a little foolish to even consider that. All of us were probably feeling that way. So, what do we do now? Meg asked. Once again, none of us really had the answer. The desperation we were feeling earlier was creeping back into my heart. We have to do something, right? I said. Hell no. I ain't gonna be anyone's puppet. I'd rather sit here and starve than play the stupid game, Cole decided. Fine, whatever. Maybe you're ready to die, but rest of us aren't, Adam growled. But if we kept playing, what is it we're supposed to do? Turn on each other and make this a Saw wannabe film fest? Meg asked. All of us laughed nervously, but none of us were quick to correct her. The truth was, none of us really knew what was going to happen next. Then, Cole got another bright idea. We need to start a fire, he said. I blinked and looked at him. You're serious? He sat back down and started talking. Look, whoever this motherfucker is, he only cares about one thing. This stupid game. We gotta hit him where it hurts. Burn the room. His little game can't go on if we're crispy critters, Cole explained. Unless that's exactly what he wants, Adam pointed out. Need I remind you that he did say we're all guilty, I added. I wasn't sure he was really thinking this out rationally. That's the answer Adam came up with. How do we even know that that's the right one, since it's from his journal? Meg asked. Again, we were all staring at each other suspiciously, and I realized Cole was right. This place is messing with our heads, I said. So you really want to try it? Adam asked. I shrugged. We got nothing to lose, do we? I asked. Cole rubbed his hands together and took out the portable charger that Meg had been using to keep her phone alive. Our lifeline to the outside world. Batteries are a great conductor of electricity, he explained as he took the figurine from the table. Hey, what are you doing? I asked. He stared at me. Relax, princess. I need to cut a hole in the charger, he explained, using the head of the figurine to jab at the small portable device. I watched as he completed the task and passed me back the slightly marred glass doll. Then he picked up one of the chairs and placed it on top of the table. You guys move it so that I can get right under the fan, he explained. Meg, Adam, and I obeyed without question and slowly pushed the table until it was centered with the wobbly ceiling fan. Cole stood there and climbed on top of the chair to reach the fixture. He carefully unscrewed the protective glass around the bulbs and then pressed it down to Meg. All of us watched silently as he smashed one of the bulbs and then held the messed up battery near to the wires. Then he asked Adam to rip a few pages from the book and pass them up to him. Okay, let's see if this works, he said as he unscrewed the bulb and then screwed it back to create a small spark. Carefully, he touched the base of the battery to the bulb and then held the paper close to it. Less than a second later, a spark of flame crossed the paper. Cole climbed down and looked at the book before saying, let's see how he likes playing the game now. He dropped the small piece of paper on the book, and we all watched as the fire started to spread. I held my arms around my chest a little uncomfortably as the fire grew a little larger with each passing moment. Then it moved to the table. We need to keep it going, Cole advised as he moved the chair and then held the broken bulb next to the battery again. This time he was on the floor near the carpet. Another small fire shot up and Megan squealed a little. It was clear all of us knew the danger we were creating. Yet, none of us chose to stop it. By now, one on the table resembled a little bonfire. I stared up at the cameras. Nothing. No reaction. What do you think he's waiting for? I asked. The others didn't say anything, but kept watching the flames. Cole took things out of the bag supplies and tossed them into the fire. Anything to make it larger. Adam grabbed one of the portraits off the floor. Meg tossed her cell phone in. But still no response from our captor. It's got to be some kind of waiting game, Cole insisted as the fire started to grow near the west side of the room. All of us huddled near the door, thinking at any moment we would be set free. Suddenly, one of the chairs collapsed from the weight of the flames. Meg's phone blew more sparks and fire was now covering the entire west wall. I pulled out my shirt, sweat pouring down my face. Do you happen to have a plan B? I asked. Meg took off her hoodie, trying not to have a heat stroke. Smoke was beginning to cover the ceiling. Megan nervously started banging on the door. Come on, open the damn door, Cole insisted as he joined her. Wake up, man, no one is coming, Adam snarled. He took off his shirt and tried waving it at the growing flames. Kelly, help me, grab the water, he insisted. The backpack was about to be engulfed in the flames as I grabbed it and took out one of the bottles. Not nearly enough to battle the inferno that was rapidly spreading. This is bull, Cole shouted. His words were met with the sharp noise of another light bulb burning out, and I realized if the last one died, we would be trapped in the dark. Smoke was almost halfway around the room now. I covered my mouth and tried not to inhale as I backed up toward the wall. The inferno was relentless. Shit, 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 Meg shouted as the flames touched her jeans. She jumped back toward the wall we were all crowded against. She used her hoodie to cover her face. Her extra layers barely protected her from the rising flames. Adam reached for my hand, There were tears in his eyes. I knew he was thinking the same thing I was as the fire started to burn against our faces. Then, the last light went out. I heard Meg scream in the dark. I could feel the fire singe the left side of my cheek. None of us said a word as the flames grew larger. Cole started coughing profusely. Smoke was likely covering the room now. I closed my eyes and tried to block it all out. I cried out in pain as the fire hit my chest. Adam let go of my hand and I heard him fall on the floor. "Dear God," Cole shouted against the endless burning sensation. I covered my head with my hoodie as best as I could, the fire slowly wrapping itself around my body as I felt each and every part of me be racked with pain. Amid the chaos, I heard something like a soft whisper, but I was in too much pain to understand it. Then, there was a noise, like a vacuum, loud and roaring. I held my ears and reached out in the darkness for Adam or Cole. The pain was too great. The flames licked my body over and over again. I couldn't remember anything else except this torture as I laid there ready to die. Somewhere between life and death, I thought about Abby. The pain I felt was exactly what I deserved. I told her again how sorry I was. I could almost hear her soft, soothing voice telling me that it was going to be okay. I felt her hand touch mine, and then everything went black. I was ready for death, but only a living hell greeted me when I opened my eyes. I felt a soft, wet cloth dampen my sore, swollen face, and the fog in my brain started to lift. I was staring up at Adam as he tended to my wounds, staring at almost half his face burned away. He paused in what he was doing and gave me a half smile. "Guess this ruins my modeling career, huh?" he said. I was too weak to laugh. He helped me sit up and I looked about the room. The carpet looked fresh, the table back in place, the pictures back on the wall. The fire was completely gone. Like it never happened at all. Megan was curled up in the opposite corner as me, shaking and trembling from her own injuries. Cole was lying unconscious near the door. It was clear the fire had nearly burned up most of his lower torso. What happened?" I asked weakly. Adam slipped down along me and held the cloth against his own sores. He was trying to play it off like he wasn't in pain, but I could tell that every movement hurt. "If I had to wager a guess, our captor decided to save us at the last minute. Although, judging by my vision in my right eye, I'd say he could have come a few minutes earlier," he said. I shook my head and looked toward Meg. She was just trying to keep herself from going into shock. "Cole?" I asked as I gestured towards his burned body. Adam just simply didn't say anything. It was obvious that he didn't have a clue what had happened to our friend. I sat there for a long time and simply rested. When I was strong enough to get up, I walked toward the table and looked at the chairs. "How is any of this happening?" I asked as I realized none of them showed any signs of damage. But on the floor below, I realized something had changed. The bloodstain had grown significantly larger than when we first entered. And then I looked at our new supplies. 4 new bottles of water, 4 sandwiches, and a few medical supplies. At the bottom of the bag was a cell phone. "What the hell?" I asked as I examined it and realized it was exactly like Meg's in every detail. I set it down on the table next to the journal and the two of us waited for Meg to wake up. It was clear that the ordeal we had just gone through had taken its toll on all of us. Meg limped toward the chair and winced in pain. For the first time since she got here, I felt sorry for her. I tried to imagine what sort of plans she likely would have had if Jerry had never asked her to come. Probably one of the other freshmen. But now that I saw her barely able to walk, I realized she finally understood a pain similar to the one she put me through. Well, are we going to discuss what happened or what? She asked weakly. First, let's check your injury, Adam decided. He scooted his chair closer to hers and then used the other one to prop her leg up. I watched him rip off her slightly burnt jeans and examine her scarred leg. She looked away as he gently tested the area around the scarring, staring at Cole's fragile frame. Do you think Cole is... Meg began, trying not to hyperventilate. Let's not jump to conclusions, Adam said as he glared at me. I could tell he wanted me to distract her somehow. He took the medical kit out of her pack and placed alcohol on her open wound. Hey Meg, do you remember when we skipped school last semester? I asked her. She squeezed the chair and looked toward me. What? Yeah, why? She asked. Adam nodded for me to keep talking as he gently dressed the wound. We had so much fun. Went to the waterfront, the mall. You made me eat those nasty raw oysters, I said. She smiled a little as she recalled the memory. That was the last time we really ever talked, she realized. Adam went ahead and applied the rest of the alcohol as she cried out in pain and finished wiping the residue off. Once he was done, she kept her foot propped. Sorry, I said softly as she glared at me. Why'd you even bring that up? Are you feeling all sappy and forgiving? Meg sobbed. I didn't say a word. I was still too torn up about everything between us. We sat there quietly, all our true scars beginning to grow inside our soul as we came to terms with how far we had fallen away from each other. Then we all started trying to come up with our next big plan. Something to keep our mind occupied, if nothing else. I heard Cole begin to cough gently, and I grabbed the medical kit and went over to him. I started to use the alcohol on his wounded arms, and he cried out in pain. I guess dying is out of the question, he said weakly. I looked at the phone again, certain that whoever was playing this game was telling us to look inside. I'm going to ask you guys a question, and it's probably going to sound strange, I said. Go ahead, Kelly, Adam said with a nod. Do you think that this place might be, alive? I asked. The others didn't seem brave enough or admit anything, but Meg was the first one to voice an opinion. Do you think it's haunted? That's why all these damn things are here messing with our heads? She asked. She picked up the phone and threw it toward me. I'm going to die in here because of you three, she shouted. The device flew past me against the wall and then fell down, an image popping up on the screen. Adam bent down to retrieve it and froze when he saw the image. Is this some kind of sick joke? He asked. I frowned at him. What do you mean? He placed the phone down so that I could look at the pictures as well. I was looking at pictures of myself and Adam, Cole, Megan. All of us are smiling in the photo and look like we were having a good time. We're all sitting around a table in a small enclosed room. The same one we're sitting in right now.
Hey there kids, it's me, MrCreepyPasta, and I just wanted to give a big thank you to you for watching tonight's video, or listening to tonight's podcast episode, for clicking on this MrCreepyPasta Storytime. Before I wish you sweet dreams tonight, I just wanted to give a big thank you to Taysia-lynn, Genobaga-Arneho, Erik Mary, Daniel Poulsen, Trace Smiles, Jordan Alexander Sanchez, Wayne Milstead, Ken Lando Higuchi, Brianna Tine-Janzen, Nicholas Saeid Alyain, Buddy Burroughs, Tyler Ramberg, Goonington, G. Weevil 3, Diana Kraus, Asia, Gabrielle de Baca, TheRedOakShieldVirus, Sandy Barney, Melissa Sweigart, Chompski, Daniel Rowe, TheGingerBroz, Robert Ramirez, Andrew Stenberg, Holy Realm, Ralph Rodriguez, and Dr. Strawberry. These guys are the friggin' amazing people from Patreon who help me stay alive. If you guys would like to help support the show as well, you can always check me out at patreon.com/MrCreepyPasta and get your name either shown here at the end of the credits or in the description down below. And you can check out this podcast here on YouTube or here on Spotify or Apple iTunes Podcast or Google Play Podcast, whichever one you happen to go to. I mean, seriously, if you're on YouTube right now and you look down in the description, there's like a whole list of different playlists that you can be able to watch, like hours upon hours upon hours of content. If you want to get your horror story creepypasta fix, it's all there, as well as like a live stream. Oh, and also my wife sells Dungeons and Dragons themed tea. Etsy.com/ivorymonocletea. Links are also down below. Sweet dreams, everybody.